everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Small Business Stories. You've got me, your host, Dr. LL, Loralyn Mears here, coming to you with a guest coming from the left coast, Portland, Oregon. In fact, we've got Juliette Fasset. She is the founder of Happy Products Incorporated. Hello, Juliette. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Loralyn. Nice to see you.
Of course, we've got to make that joke first, right? It's like, oh, West Coast must be lots of mist, lots of rain. Well, we're drowning in snow here. What do you got going on in Oregon?
Lots of mist, lots of rain.
Yeah, yeah, go figure, right? Oh, how did we know? And we wonder why people get stereotyped, right? Yeah, there we
Right,
go.
exactly.
Yeah, well, let's dive into this. So, one of the things, first, I think people in our audience are going to be really interested in is so many people have like, oh, the next great idea. I've improved, I've made the next awesome toothbrush, I've made the next awesome hairbrush, right? And obviously, it goes beyond grooming supplies. The next amazing bike helmet. Person who hasn't been on a bicycle since she cracked her helmet wide open and went to the ER, but that's a whole other story. Yeah. And so, how do you even start when you've got an idea and think, yeah, I want to make this a thing? Where should people begin?
So it's a fantastic question. And the first thing I want to do is say, or I want to approach is say, those ideas, they are based in validity. So don't, people are going to poo-poo your ideas, but there is an inspiration. They say necessity is the mother of invention. These ideas all have some level of validity to them. So this is just common problem solving, and that is such a rewarding and fantastic experience. Um, the hardest thing is to figure out, I think at first, whether or not there is any market appeal for your problem solver. Like you could solve a problem, but is it such a small problem that people don't really care? Or you can solve a problem that is such a huge problem that there could be so much money attached to it, right? So trying to quantify how big that problem is. And that's just a simple market research thing. I mean, for me, what happened was somebody asked me to solve this problem of how do we create a comfortable tablet stand? Um, and I looked at the tablet stands that were on the market, and most of them, actually at that time, most of them were very, hard materials. They were all made of metal or wood or plastic. There was only one or two that were made of anything soft, and they didn't have the capability of adjusting the angle for the reader. So what I locked in on was the idea that there could be something that split the difference there, something that solved the problem in a comfortable fashion. So it was not like a tech device, it was more like a housewares item. And that was a lot of market research, a lot of market research. I bought every single item that I thought had something to do with what I was trying to solve for, but didn't do it in the way I thought it possibly could be done. So there's a lot of like, oh, we should have a product that does this, or I can solve the problem this way. But of course, there's a lot of other items out there that do something in the neighborhood. I think you need to look at everything in the neighborhood and see what the original thinking was and kind of take those items apart. That does a couple of things. It helps validate your concept that there is a market hole there. And you can also become much more informed about all the other products that exist in that neighborhood, as I say. So it's about having the inspiration, the first spark of ingenuity is really important. But the next thing is to actually go back in time instead of forward. Go back in time and look at everything else out there, take it all apart, make a spreadsheet, make the pros and cons of every single other item out there like it, and ensure that what you are creating, that there's some open water there. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. So there's about like three or four threads I want to pull on there. And every time I do this, I forget. By the time I get into the first two threads, I forget what the
Yes,
other
I
two are.
completely get what you're
Oh,
saying. Yes.
so Okay, a couple of things. So, folks, we're going to get back to Flippy, which is the tablet holder beanbagish soft thing that Juliette created. Come back to that. So, when you're talking about that market research, there's really a couple of sides to that. And I want you to dig a little deeper into, okay, you talked about existing products on the market, take them, buy them, use them, rip them apart, pros and cons, excellent advice. But what about the market research on that product market fit? Will people buy it? Right? That's what you want to try to be able to know. Will people buy it the way that you made it? Talk to us about those steps.
Well, so I can actually talk about one from a failure standpoint. So I had a company that I developed called Dr. McGrath's. That was a line of pet wellness products based around the life story of Eleanor McGrath, who was one of the first female veterinarians in the United States. And the product was well executed. I had fantastic product. I had fantastic branding, labeling, um, tremendous, tremendous potential, very good response at a trade show, at a national trade show. The problem with that was that I could get the product at the retail price where I thought people would buy the product. I could not sustain the business on these slim margins until I had enough volume to get where I could sustain the business on those small margins. So there wasn't enough margin in the beginning. So I failed to correctly interpret what it was, how much money it was going to take, and how long it was going to take to get that product fully into the market. Am I answering your question in a
Yes.
roundabout way?
Well, we're getting now. Going to come back at a little bit more of that, but you raise a good point that so many business owners, regardless if they're creating something that's a new innovation they're bringing to market, whatever it is, it's that whole chicken and egg cycle, right? You can't get enough money to do the marketing to market the thing you want until you sell enough product to make the money to do the marketing, right? So there's all these
Absolutely.
hoops.
And so what I'm saying there is that that doesn't mean that the product didn't work. That doesn't mean that there wasn't an appetite for the product. There absolutely was, and I established that. What it meant were there were other forces working against me at that time where I could not survive long enough. And in some of these cases, you have to get to the point where you're like, okay, do I keep chasing this or am I going to go off in a different direction? Luckily for me, I had started the Flippy business kind of in parallel, and the money started to flow on the Flippy business. So I had to put Dr. McGrath's on the mothballs, as we say.
And I think a lot of folks under how long it's going to take and how much it's going to cost to get them to that pot. Like you said, hey, got the problem. I know people want it. It's been validated. I did it too. Only I mortgaged my home and bet some of my retirement money on building a soft skills academy that everybody went, yeah, I can just go to TikTok and get it done. Not that they didn't need it, but couldn't sustain the marketing that was needed to stand out above all of the other folks out there, right?
I think this is one of the things. So we're getting into a little bit of the meta here about the psychological stuff that goes around this. Um, I always say, however much money I'm raising, it's a third of what I actually think I need. I mean, like a third of what I actually need. Like it doesn't even occur to me how much more money I need, right? The other thing is, uh, the stress and the amount of risk that you have to be willing to put, yeah, it is mind numbing. And people constantly, oh my God, it's so great. You had your own business, blah, blah, blah. You work for yourself. Yeah, it sounds really great, but people don't understand the stress. Uh, the fact that you have personal guarantees, you're going to put your entire livelihood and your family's livelihood on the line. And then sometimes, you're going to wipe out completely and you're going to have to start over again. And this has happened to me a couple of times. And it is so much harder than people even can begin to comprehend. Um, So I'm very enthusiastic about entrepreneurial pursuits and the creativity and the wherewithal it takes, but I am careful to warn people uh, that it's much harder than anybody really can grasp before they get into it.
Bingo. I tell people that all the time that I mentor. Like, you can show up and go to a job and you'll complain, oh, I got to commute, I got this, I got that, I got to get ready, I got to get the kids to daycare, this, that, get the dog walked, blah, 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 all the stuff. But you just show up and your paycheck comes, assuming you do most of what you need to do reasonably well. It's not all on you because you can distribute some of that load of responsibility to the others around you. And people don't get it. Like, even if you're in the startup, you are the startup, especially initially. You are the brand, you are the concept, you are the sales, you are the marketing, you are, right? You are the engine. And it's exhausting. And when you've got all that stress of, oh my God, now I've got two mortgage payments. I didn't make any sales last month, right? And it compounds.
Yes. What you said, it's all on you. That is, it is the most terrifying thing. And I'm in a space now where I have been successful to a good extent, but it came through from a lot of pain and a lot of trial and error. On balance, my entire career as an entrepreneur, which has been more than 30 years now, I have managed to make a living, something of a living, but it has come at tremendous cost. At tremendous cost. We have all these pictures of the family from 20 years ago. And I'm like, why am I not in any of these pictures? And my daughters are like, Juliette, you were trying to save the business from something. So we all went on this trip without you. Or you left the trip early because you had to go back home and deal with some problem. And I wouldn't change anything, but it is an extremely difficult life path for most people. And I honestly, Loralyn, I have to be completely forthcoming. I think in the end, my success with this product and with this business has been the result of a lot of failure. So I think even when my investors said, we actually like to invest in people that have already failed, right? People that have already gone through the learning curve of going down and what that means and how you learn more from the down than you do from the up cycle. And there is just something to be said for having that kind of seasoning, but Jesus, it is so stressful and so demoralizing. I mean, my darkest lifetimes. I mean, I've gone through, of course, the loss of friends and family and disease and all kinds of terrible, horrible things that we all go through. But this is self-inflicted. This
Right.
this is a life path that we choose. And it's hard. It's really hard. And in the end, I built it, but then I also got lucky, you know? You can't discount there's an element of luck.
I agree. I get into this conversation with a lot of people. Luck is an element. And
Yeah.
as someone who has watched the husband go down to the pool with his kids or this or that on your vacation, or you get up at 4 in the morning while everybody's still sleeping, because like, I gotta get some stuff done before everybody gets up, right? It's all this madness. And at the same time, as much as maybe none of us that are on this path regret it, it's not like we don't stop to think about it, or it's not like we don't feel it. We're human.
Yes.
Yeah, it's tough. So switching and going around there and coming back to some of the other threads and getting ready. So, okay, we've talked about doing some market research, understanding what other products exist out there, how they've gone to market, where there might be that room, that blank space. Like, I'm certified in blue ocean strategy planning, so you look for that blue
Yes.
ocean, right? Oh,
Yes.
there are a lot of sharks there with a lot of blood. Yes, well, let's stay away from there, right? Let's go over here. There's less blood in the ocean,
Yes.
right? And we look at that, we look at some of the pricing, we think, oh, can we make it work? Because just because it's a great idea doesn't mean it's technologically feasible, financially feasible, or in time bound, right? If time and money were no object, we could create it in 20 years. But if we're already 60 years old, well, no, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, all that said, how, as we're going through that process, how do we start thinking in parallel about protecting what we've created or plan to create? Because we all know AI world, it's sucking down everything we're putting in there, it's spitting it back out to everybody else. We're in an era where anything you put out, you think about all these beautiful haute couture clothes. That day, someone offshore comes out with the cheap knockoff design. Like, what do we start thinking about, Juliette, to prepare what's coming?
Okay, so I have a couple of points I want to make about this. Number one, when you are getting started and you're going through your proof of concept, if there is money moving through the tube, if you are selling the product and you're getting good responses and you start to see cash flowing, that is a massive indication that you have something. And there is nothing more important than cash moving through the tube of your business, right? That's it. So that is a sign that you really need to take steps as best as you can to protect your intellectual property and your brand. Now, there's a couple of different thoughts around this, like brand is everything. And if you build the brand, then you have, you get your moat and you can protect yourself. But that's not really the way it works anymore because of AI and because of speed to market and the speed at which everything gets ripped off. And this is where I'm going to deliver a message that sounds like kind of a downer. I think that this may change over time, but we are in a space where it is incredibly, incredibly difficult to protect yourself. You can align with all of these organizations. You can get a patent, you can get trade dress protection, but push comes to shove, it is extremely difficult to protect yourself. And one of the ways that you can really, I think, combat this is speed to market, unfortunately. It used to be that you could make your prototype, go to trade shows, get some interest, sell slowly, build your business reasonably, try to organically grow off of cash flow. That world doesn't exist anymore. So I think if you have a product that has been proven to be successful, mine grew partly very slowly, but then when I was on QVC in November of 2018 and we sold out, we sold $500,000 worth of product in 12 and a half minutes. That was my like, oh my God, we got to haul ass. The product had already been patented and trademarked. And what happened next was that even though I'd had the product on the market for a couple of years and it was trademarked and I had an excellent patent, we still got ripped off. I could not move fast enough. So you have to sort of be reading the cash, going through the tube, and then knowing what I know now, if I saw someone lining up for a sellout on QVC, I would encourage them to run for a partner with a lot of money and a lot of market presence, somebody where they can take advantage of that boom of adoption and not lose out on the opportunity because I got eclipsed at exactly that point. And so what happened to me was that I've ended up in this massive litigation with the biggest retailers in the world and a billion-dollar company that infringed on my patent and my trade dress. So it's not impossible, I think, to take advantage of these spectacular opportunities, but it is very, very difficult. And I think you have to align yourself with a bigger organization. You cannot do it from a small business standpoint. You don't have the money. These guys will spend you into the ground in a matter of seconds.
And I don't think people realize what's at stake, that they think, oh, they're not going to come after me because I'm little Joe Schmo company nobody's ever heard of. But as you're highlighting here, not so. And it's also where they count on David versus Goliath. Go away. You're a little gnat on a hippo's ass. Like, go away. You're not going to come after us. We're the billion-dollar behemoth. And we count on that they can squeeze us out. But what they don't realize is how much passion and energy and sacrifice and blood and tears and sweat and stress went into our baby that we created. And it's like, we are not going down lightly. We're going to fight to the end, right? I always think of entrepreneurs as that mouse that's being consumed by the eagle or the big bird, and the mouse is doing the last act of defiance and trying to choke the bird that's about to eat it, right? That's entrepreneurship.
Yes, it's so true. I mean, it's a joke how small my business is compared to, I mean, come on, I'm in litigation with Walmart. You know, it's a joke.
Yeah, yeah, because I think they're approaching $1 trillion company. I
It's
think,
just a
right?
joke.
Yeah,
And they
yeah.
just are like, go away. Yeah. But the thing is, and this is something that has been hard won over decades of experience. I got extremely lucky and surrounded myself with very smart people, people whose values aligned with mine about the way you treat your customers, the way you go through life, and the role that money plays. And, I kind of feel like I'm in this space of being very grateful to my legal team who are absolutely brilliant, ethical, fantastically astute attorneys. And and the fact that we are in a chunk of time where there is a lot of concern around intellectual property and small businesses and what is happening with the onslaught of AI and dupe culture and what that means to creativity and the establishment of this small business economic engine that bolsters the entire economy of the United States. So I think we're, getting to a point where this is actually a very big concern. Um, Part of the problem is that the law does not move anywhere near as fast as the technology. So anybody starting a business right now, the future is with many more minefields than has ever existed before.
And that's just it. To your point, my team, we created an e-learning platform before it became ubiquitous, right? And everybody was doing it during the pandemic. And I looked to patent some of the ways that we did it. And I did have excellent counsel, and they said, are you going to be married to this technology for the next 3 years while we go to prosecute the patent until assuming it's even awarded, or are you going to switch technologies? And I was like, so wait, I'm going to pay $17,000 over the next 3 years, hope to get it, but someone, because I can only patent it here in the US, I can't do an international patent because that'll cost $70,000 to $80,000.
Right.
And am I going to stick with the technology? No, we change it up every month, right? As it's coming. So you've got to look at that. And the other thing where I wanted to come back to is about what you're saying on you've got to align with somebody bigger that has the deeper pockets, because we've all grown accustomed to the idea if we do home renovation, right? It's never going to come at the timeline that the contractor told us it would, right? Yeah, it'll take us a month. What was that? Months, couple months. Oh, is that what you said? Well, no, 4 months. What? And then a year later, maybe we have it done, and maybe there's not still holes in our wall that they haven't because they've ghosted us and gone on to 40 other projects. And we all know it's going to cost more than we think it does because there's always, well, the materials went up, there's tariffs on them now or whatever. But we
Yes.
don't think that we are going to run into the same challenges as business owners. We think somehow, miraculously, automagically, we're going to be exempted from those kinds of rules of business, right? Isn't that the mindset we go into this with? It's not going to have to
Loralyn,
be.
that is exactly how people end up in the mess of having a small business that they cannot, they are killing themselves to sustain. It That mindset does two things. It gives you the stupidity to try to take this on, it gives you the thought that, oh my God, these other people achieved this. They're not any smarter than I am, so I can too, right? So with that on one hand gives you a shield, and on the other hand, it's laughing at you because
Right.
what are you thinking that you're going to be able to do this? So it's I love your very pragmatic and I think astute approach here in your thinking that is very sane. And we have to be realistic about we can and cannot do. I mean, I have had some very smart, very wealthy people tell me you just have to give up and and uh, and you're better off trying to go ahead and make money with your next product because you cannot go up against these people. What I personally have gone through is not something that I would want anyone else to go through. I mean, the stress and the demoralization and I mean, I literally almost died from the stress. And I don't want anybody else to go through that. Could I have avoided it? Maybe, maybe. And those are the sort of rocks I want other people to look under if they're lining up for the kind of experience that I've had. I mean, I was lucky. I got a hit product. I mean, that's an amazing, fantastic thing. And I'm still selling it and people still love it. And, I enjoy that part of what I do every single day. I love engaging with, I had a customer reach out today and say, I can't find this particular version of the product. I want to buy 4 of these. And I'm like looking in the warehouse to see if I can find what she wants. I really enjoy that part of the business. I love that I created this product that people love and want and will still pay for. Um, but the what you have to go through to get to there and what comes with it is really sort of incomprehensible at the beginning.
It absolutely is. I had, like you, gone through some really, really dark, very dark days trying to think, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? How am I going to survive? The people that I had that were closest in my life at that time, my parents said, give up. Go be a New Jersey Transit bus driver. This is insane. I'm like, wait, what? A New Jersey Transit bus driver? That's wonderful. It's noble. I would not want to drive on the turnpike. I hate doing it in a car, let alone in a bus where you can hit 10,000 other things because everybody's tailgating and your bus is really, really big. And so it would be a brutal thing, but thinking, wait, I'm a PhD, I'm a this, I'm a that. That's not what I want to do. I'm creating something new that solves problems. So I'm a problem solver. I put my head to work, right? And so you get all of that negativity and you think, oh my God, how will I ever survive this? And you surround yourself with people who are JOB people and they don't get it. And I look at my husband like, bless his heart, like in the very best way, not in the Southern, bless his heart. It's like,
Right. I know. No, in a
right?
sincere way.
Right,
Yes.
in a sincere way, because he gets it. He's had the same job for almost 4 decades, engineer, linear, plans roads, all that stuff. And he looks at me like I have two heads and I'm random, but he understands that's how my ADHD squirrel head needs to work, or I collapse. I
So
can't go into sameness.
Loralyn, we're married to the same kind of guy. My
Thank
husband,
goodness.
no, and I tell everybody if I could clone Bruce, that would be the best thing I could ever put out in the world. Okay. And I tell my girlfriends, marry an engineer, a nice engineer who has a good job, who has benefits, and can handle your crazy pants thing that you're trying to accomplish.
Yeah.
This is the other thing about this. Um, Doing it, I don't know how people do it like single and alone, right? Because if it wasn't for him, I would be, living with my lesbian girlfriends and we would have a ton of animals, right? I mean,
Same.
you know, uh, so somebody has to be the steady, somebody has to be the anchor in the family. And for me, it has been my husband, Bruce. Um, he has allowed me, and I don't mean like he gave me permission,
No,
but
no.
our relationship has enabled me to do what I do. Same for you, sounds like.
Yeah, absolutely. And you need that support. People need to understand like the
Yes.
randomness that you're a here, you're a there, you're a left, you're a right. You're like, ah, it drives me crazy. It's like critical path, Loralyn, critical path. What's on the critical path? And I'm like, well, I've got taxes and things that are due, and I didn't file those certificates, and I've got this and I've got that. And he's like, oh my God, like, how do you operate? Right?
Right.
Yeah,
No.
I know, I know, I know. I get it. I get you.
Yeah. I think we get each other really well for people who had never met until this morning.
Right. But
Yeah.
that's why I love this show because, especially when guests like you are forthcoming, you're honest about what happened. And I think it is all the better that we've had some scars, right, and lived to tell the story because a lot of folks coming up into it think, yeah, yeah, yo, yo, right? Hashtag viral, here I go. And that's not how it works.
Well, again, I think it's helpful to have that component because otherwise you would really understand what you were up against and you would never attempt it in the first place,
Right, right,
right?
exactly.
Because your head would just explode from the get-go. So you
Yeah,
have to come at it with a little bit of a naivete,
yeah. And
which is
hubris.
yes, absolutely. They're kind of like, opposite sides of the same coin. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what do you, when you're in your, with your coaching clients, like what do you say to them about this, the very hard things about very hard things? Like, what do you,
Okay, first of all, this is really interesting because none of my guests have ever asked me a question. So,
nobody? Oh my
no.
God, you're such a fantastic, no, I have nothing but questions for you. I feel
Oh,
like I want to grab the mic and turn this around because there's so much I want to ask you, and I'm hoping we can continue this conversation. But like, that is to me, because what we're trying to do here is encourage people
yes.
and support them in this journey, but at the same time, warn and sort of educate about how hard this can be so that you ensure that if people really want to pursue this, that they have some real good idea of what they're getting into.
Exactly. So I'm going to come back to your question and answer this last part of it because that's why I have small business stories. Its original incarnation was the grit files because it's all about having grit,
Totally.
right, to
Yes.
get through this and
Yeah.
get it done and
Yes.
rebranded as small business stories. It's not small business success. It's not that the people on the show that come here are complete failures. Some of them have 40, 50 million plus dollar annual companies, right? They're just killing it. We've had Bobby Brown on the show. We know she's a makeup mogul,
Love
right?
her.
Yes.
Love
Yeah.
her.
Natural, authentic, all that stuff, right?
Yes.
But it's all about people willing to share what didn't work because that's the whole point of this. We all have a story. We all got burned. We've had the brain pick where people have gone on and developed their own companies, taken me on tour. You think, oh, great, it's an investment tour. No, we're recreating what you've done, but doing it better with more money and more people. You're like, oh,
Right.
oh, is that what just happened? Oh, okay. And you don't realize it till it's too late, right? And
Oh
so,
my God.
and then they count on you not coming after them because you're the little peon and you're not going to go after them. And they got the big attorneys and the big firms and the money. And you're like,
Yeah.
no, I can't. Just next. I'll just outsmart you and come up with something else. And you just have to count on finding a way to figure that out. But back to your question, as far as mentoring, I do mentor and coach lots and lots of folks, small business owners, lots of people who are switching into it. They've had their path as a leader in whatever corporate environment, and now they're doing this foray into something else, their next chapter, be it trying to be a speaker, an author, whatever it is, right? A coach themselves. And a lot of young people. I work with students all the time because I feel I got to give back. And the younger folks really come at it with, I watched YouTube. I watched TikTok. I'm so ready. Hashtag viral, passive income. I'm going to do this. I'll get my offshore team and like boom, 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 right? And it starts clicking. And I'm like, no, no. And then they can relate to Mr. Beast, right? Jimmy, I mean, his
Yep.
Feastables is amazing. Go watch that episode with him and Stephen Barrett, one of my favorite podcasts, one of two. Mel Robbins, love you too, right? But Diary of a CEO, Mr. Beast is on, and he's in tears. And he's like, I feel like a robot. I'm a caged animal. I am the brand. I've got to do. And he talks about the 18 months of not sleeping to get him so that he could kind of figure out how to crack the code. People don't realize. And so I say, go watch that. And then I say, I talk about why are you doing this? Are you trying to prove something? Are you trying to do something? What do you want? What is your sense of celebration at the end? Why are you going to click your glasses of champagne or whatever you're going to, your monster drink, whatever you're doing, your beverage of choice? Why? What is that going to look like? What are you going to celebrate? And then you can instantly tease out where they're on the wrong path. And I say, you're going to have to find this out the hard way. We all do. We think, oh, somehow miraculously, I'm going to be above it. I'm going to dodge it. It's not going to happen. But until it happens to you, it's almost not real.
Yes. It's theoretical, right? And I think, part of this, I think, Loralyn, is that we've been kind of sold a bill of goods a little,
Yes. I say that all the time on my show. Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Like, Shark Tank,
Yeah. Which I know four people who declined to move forward with the contract on Shark Tank. It took them 2 years until they had a chance to be interviewed to do the show. Then it took 1 year until they finally had the chance to be recorded for the show. And then, even though you're recorded, they pick 20, and only three of those 20 will be actually presented on
right?
television. And then you still get the deal in the back end if you're one of those 20. And they all walked away and said, oh my goodness, it's egregious. They're taking a chunk out of my backside.
Um, so it's kind of meta, right?
Yeah,
Like
sure.
the whole system there promotes entrepreneurial success stories, but also, oh,
Sure.
sorry, can you hear the dog?
No, 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 no. We're all good. We're
Okay.
good. We're good.
Okay.
Mine is sleeping down there. She's all good. And but that's just it. We think we know the story. And this is the other example, the last thing that I'll say as far as how I mentor folks who are either considering and or down the path of entrepreneurship. It's like social media. Social media is a curated micro slice of everything that's happening in that person's life. Looks good, right angle, right lighting, right jewelry, but wait a minute, good hair day, right? What's really happening? Are you crying for 6 hours a day because other stuff is going on, but you can't let that show? And people forget that and they say, like, so everything that's like, oh, yeah, yeah, it was so easy. I just put my little book together. I used AI, published the book, boom, Amazon bestseller, overnight, done. These are the steps. Do this, buy it, pay $99 and I'll show you the steps, right? BS, total BS.
Yes, it is BS.
Right. Now, with that, as we're coming to the end of our show, because I feel, like I said, we are, kindred spirits here.
100%.
As we wrap up, what are your parting words to folks here for the end of the episode?
Don't lose sight of your values. Stay true to your values. Just keep going on your values. I think once you start to compromise and go down that slippery slope of justification of things for the money, it's not worth it. It's going to show up somehow, some way, and it's going to kick you in the butt. And if you stay true to your values, you're going to keep surrounding yourself with people who are aligned with you and will go through this process with you. They'll go on the trip with you in a way that you cannot. I've had people ride my companies with me into the ground, and I am still very close with so many of my former employees. And to me, money's only worth so much. That is worth everything.
Bingo. Absolutely. Excellent way to end it, but we're not quite done. Juliette, how can people find Flippy to buy their tablet holder? How can people find you? Where can they go?
People can Easily reach me on LinkedIn. No problem. I respond pretty readily to people on LinkedIn. And the product is on Amazon. It's called Flippy, Flippy. It's a best-selling foam, lightweight, problem-solving tablet viewing device. People love it. We've been selling it for 10 years now, and I've been in litigation for a year and a half. And we're going to keep going and going.
I hope you win, right? You're an inspiration. You're carrying the torch for all of us.
I
That's what we
listen,
need.
I am absolutely carrying the torch for all of us. And when I do win, because I'm going to win, when I do win, a portion of my winnings are going toward supporting other people that are going through the exact same problem.
Ah,
100%.
you heard it here. Juliette Fasset, right? Happy Product Company taking on Walmart of all companies, her amazing product, Flippy. But before she goes, we're going to ask her one more question. This is our signature question of the show. If we got to peek in that closet of yours, Oregon, or wherever your other closets are, we want to know, is there a pair of footwear that personifies who you are, Juliet Fassett, that represents your personality, your brand, your energy? You're like, yeah, that's so me. What is it? Share. Spill the tea.
You know what? It's impossible because it runs the gamut from this brand called Sidewalk, which is a USA made brand of unbelievable footwear with these kitten heels and these super cool silver leather wraparound kind of look. I mean, I just absolutely love those down to my paddock boots that I wear to the barn. So my Ariat paddock boots that are covered in horse shit and are just beat to hell. Those are like my polar ends, but they're both me. Does that answer the question?
Absolutely. And it's just one more point of commonality that we have because I've got stiletto heels with the platform, fully glitter, full glitter, glitter girl to the to trudge through everything to the flip-flops. And for the most part, I live in glittery slippers because I'm home a lot. So yeah,
I
I'm
like
I'm
that.
the eclectic, whatever, shoe lady. Yeah, yeah, it's all good. It's all good. It represents the ADHD squirrel in the brain. Like sometimes I'm a this, sometimes I'm a that, right?
And I think we all are, right? We all contain multitudes, and that's one of the greatest things. That's how we get to learn so much from each other.
Exactly. Why be linear? Ah, it's so boring. All right. With that, Juliet, it's a wrap. Thank you so much for being on our show.
My honor and my pleasure. Thank you, Laurelyn.